Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Admiral Cisco back at you. Well, Simon Parks farts again, and I caught it, when he recently did an episode of his Connecting Consciousness show with him and his wife, Becky. They do it, as a team after JP used to do it and got rid of him some time ago. But anyway, a woman out of South Africa had asked Simon Parks a question about her country, about Brazil, and about India. She also asked him a question about him traveling on an airplane. But I want you guys to focus on the questions about the country, and I'm gonna come back and give my 2-cent commentary because. Once again, he's proven my point each and every time he does an interview that he has a big problem with Africa and African people. So, here we go.
Thank you. It's a good question.
Thank you. Michelle from South Africa has 2 questions. Hi Simon, thank you for all you do. Simon, you always used to say you would never fly on a plane. Has that changed? Since you mentioned travelling to the USA. And the second one is, can you give us an idea of how developing countries like India and South Africa and Brazil fit into the Illuminati and cabal structures and control?
Okay, we'll take the last one first because that's easier to answer. Any emerging economy is fought over. India is the new China, in the sense that it has a massive population base, very poor generally standard of living, wages are very low, people don't expect a great deal, absolutely ideal to set up factories and get stuff turned out. So both sides, or all sides, would want to dominate India. Now what's interesting is that unlike China in the early days, and Hong Kong and many of these other countries, Taiwan, India began to set its stall out as to what it would and what it wouldn't take on, which meant that India, because of its situation with Pakistan politically, was always played to the West, unlike some of the other countries which were very isolationist. And so what we can see is that India is striking deals with different sides. So Russia will be interested, America will be interested, China will be interested, and Great Britain will be interested. And what you'll find in India's case is that India might buy weapon systems from Great Britain, but it might buy oil from Russia, or it will do this. So it's going to play, it won't align itself in one particular political camp. However, what I will say is that the Indian Prime Minister and President Donald Trump have an excellent working relationship, and thank goodness for that, because I can remember General Zia across the road there, and the situation there with Obama, who was then the president, and how that connection between Pakistan and the United States sidelined India, and often it looked like war was quite likely. So thank goodness that we now have the office of president on a very good terms with Modi, who is the Prime Minister of India. Thank goodness that India and America have very good terms, because these are 2 natural allies. That's my opinion anyway. All right, so move on to the next question.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted you to hear. The next question is it's of no interest to me. But anyway, you have a woman named Michelle that emails a question in to his Connecting Consciousness show that his wife Becky reads the questions to. And quite frankly, I believe that they're shuffling through the questions also. There's certain ones he don't want to talk about, specifically pertaining to Africa. Let me point that out. Anyway, this woman lives in South Africa, and she asks Simon's bitch ass about South Africa, India, and Brazil. He specifically discussed India and the relationship between the cabal and this, that, and the other. So I'm pointing this out to my viewing audience, that this is the shit that I'm talking about, how every time Africa comes up, they ain't got shit to say. And I've noticed him all this year, from January to present, to the most recent video he did, which was this past Sunday. I noticed that every question he received was about world events, with the exception of, I've noticed there were no questions sent in about the mysterious, tragic death of Kobe Bryant, which I have my opinions on that. No one has sent in questions about China and what they're doing to the Africans over there. No one has sent in questions about the situation that happened in Haiti that Phil of the African Diaspora News Channel did a story about a few months ago. It was this year, but I can't remember what month it was. He hasn't said anything. And I just noticed that Africa tends to be hands off for him, and it speaks to his racism again. And I just want my audience to see that, because I've had people email me and ask me, why do I always pick at this guy? Well, here it is. Like Alex Collier, Simon Parks, many years ago, was admitted in an interview with a woman, I believe her name is Joanna Summerscales, when he first started coming out saying that he's a contactee and he's receiving all this information from his big bug-eyed praying mantis alien-looking friends, that they've given him all of Earth history. And he begs people to believe him. And he wants everybody to come together. But yet and still, he has that white supremacist mindset, because let's face it, he is, a white supremacist. He admired Hitler. And I really wish that video was still up on YouTube, because I would love to, shit all over him and throw it in his face and let everybody else see that, he admired Hitler as a kid. But anyway, my point being is, this is the racism and this is the bigotry that's all in the exopolitics community, and I'm gonna continue to speak out about it and expose it every chance I get. It doesn't surprise me, but it does surprise some of my viewers, because they get upset about it, and I understand their frustration, because I get frustrated with it too. Not so much anymore, but I'm happy, and it puts a smile on my face when I'm able to wake other people up to the reality that extraterrestrials want this message out, but unfortunately the people that they're sending the message to still have a little immature racist mindset. The bigotry and the racism within the exopolitics, Simon Parks and others, will continue to be exposed. That you can bank on. Admiral Cisco, signing off.